Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
Tonight, President Trump just pulled back the curtain on what may be the biggest pressure campaign on Iran in years, and the media still doesn't get it. He says the regime's been decimated, its economy is a disaster, and now suddenly Tehran wants a deal badly. But that's not all. Trump also revealed he personally stepped in as Iran was preparing to execute 8 women. Says they backed off. Then he sent another shockwave through Europe, warning United States troops are not guaranteed for countries that refuse to pull their weight. This is not the old weak foreign policy playbook. This is leverage, and it's working. So why should you care? Because this is what leadership looks like, real leadership. When American power is used for American interests instead of being burned up in endless global charity. Under President Trump, enemies are being squeezed, allies are being challenged, and Washington's old foreign policy class is getting cut out of the room. See, that matters to every family who's paying taxes, every parent worried about another forever war, and every patriot sick of seeing the United States fund everyone else while our own people get lectures in debt. Iran's feeling military pressure, economic pressure, and diplomatic pressure all at the same time. That means less room for the regime to bankroll terror, threaten shipping lanes, or blackmail the West. And when Trump says that Spain and Italy may not get the same U.S. commitment if they don't help, he's telling the world something very simple. America is not an ATM, and our troops are not pawns for freeloading governments. The establishment hates this because accountability destroys the racket. The American people should love it because it puts our country first. And while we're talking about pressure, resilience, and getting your strength back, I need to tell you something personally. See, you've probably seen the clip, Joe Rogan sitting with Mel Gibson talking about people close to him who went through some serious health struggles and then saw dramatic turnarounds. Rogan brings up light-based therapies and how they impact the body at the cellular level, and Gibson just says it straight, stuff works. See, that got my attention because in my own life, I watched something very similar unfold. For a long time, my wife was dealing with constant discomfort and anxiety. It was one of those draining seasons. And then I started looking into red light therapy through Jonathan Otto's work at myredlight.com, and what I found was compelling. If you want to check it out for yourself, go to myredlight.com. Use NNN25 for 25% off individual items or NNN30 for 30% off bundles. Now back to the story, because what Trump said next should have every globalist in Washington sweating. This is the part the press will try to bury. President Trump said almost nobody knows what's happening in the talks with Iran except him and a very small circle. That's not confusion, that's discipline. That's how you negotiate when you actually want results instead of leaks, posturing, and donor-approved nonsense. While Tehran is being forced to the table, Trump is also putting Europe on notice. If you won't stand with America when it counts, don't assume America will keep carrying you forever. Here's President Trump discussing the Iranian regime in the Oval today.
Now, look, Iran killed 42,000 people over the last 2 months, protesters. They were going to kill 8 women whose lives I saved, and I appreciate that they didn't do it. I asked them not to do it. They didn't do it. They were getting ready to hang the women. They were going to hang 8 beautiful women that were, I mean, it just caught the imagination of a lot of people. People were talking about it. You know, it was inconceivable. You saw those 8 beautiful people, and they were going to be executed that evening. This was a week ago. And I got on the phone very quickly, and I said, don't do it, don't do it. The whole world is watching, don't do it. And they didn't do it. I appreciate it. I guess 4 were released, and the other 4 are going to be released in a month. They were ready to be executed that night. So they take a tough, they knocked out the wrestler they killed. They killed the wrestler's teammates. He was a world champion wrestler. He was a great wrestler, great, talented wrestler. They killed him because he protested. He spoke. He wasn't wrestling. What he did is he spoke negatively about the regime, and they killed him. They executed him along with his friends. They killed 42,000 people. So when you say about, they say that I do the same, I don't do the same. I'm trying to save that country in a certain way. And nobody's ever seen that. Think of it. They killed 40 42,000 innocent, not weapon-carrying people for protesting. 42,000. And the number they say is a lot higher than that. It was a rough group. But we have decimated them. And their economy is a disaster. So we'll see how long they hold out. We'll see.
Trump just laid out the pressure point. Iran's regime is brutal, weakened, and running out of room. Next, he gets even more direct, saying the talks are locked down tight and Tehran wants a deal badly.
Well, I mean, I don't know what stubborn is because really nobody knows what the talks are except myself and a couple of other people. They want to make a deal badly. And we have a problem because nobody knows for sure who the leaders are. It's a little bit of a problem, you know. The leaders have been wiped out along with their military, almost all of their military. I mean, think of it. 159 ships was their total Navy. 159 ships are gone. They're underwater. They're way below sea level. Sea level is a big difference. Pretty deep waters over there, too. So I don't know that we need it. We might need it. We might need it.
So after making clear Iran is the one begging, Trump also says the chain of command there is in chaos. Now watch him widen the target and call out Spain and Italy for freeloading while America does the heavy lifting.
You talked about possibly pulling out some troops out of Germany. Would you be considering the same thing for Spain and Italy? I mean, they haven't been exactly on board.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I probably will. Why should I? You know, look, why shouldn't I? Italy has not been of any help to us. And Spain has been horrible. Absolutely horrible. You know, it's NATO. It's not even the fact that they're bad. It's one thing if they said nicely, or if they said, okay, we'll help, but the help's a little slow. But the level, and we helped them with Ukraine. You know, they made a mess out of Ukraine, a total mess. And we helped them with Ukraine. Ukraine has nothing to do, you know, we're an ocean apart. It has to do with them. It's like for them, it's their front door. We help them. And Biden gave him $350 billion, which is insane. It's one of the reasons the war went on. But when we needed them, they were not there. We have to remember that. And so if we ever have a big one, because we didn't need any help with Iran. We had Iran right from the first day. It was over. It was over. And now it's even more so. We're so locked and loaded if we want to do. But we didn't need the help. And to a certain extent, I asked them, I didn't need the help, but I said, yeah, we'd love to have you help because I wanted to see if they do it. And they, in all cases, they said, we don't want to get involved. And, you know, the amazing thing is they use the Strait of Hormuz. We don't. We don't use it. We don't need it. We have a lot of oil. Well, wait a minute. And they use it. We don't. And you would have thought they would have said, we would love to help you. But they didn't, which I think was a very... And Germany, I mean... he's doing a terrible job. He's got immigration problems. He's got energy problems. He's got problems of all kinds. And he's got a big problem with Ukraine because they're in that mess. And he criticized me for doing the whole thing with Iran. But I said, would you like to have a nuclear weapon in the hands of Iran? He said, no, I don't. I said, well, then I guess I'm right. He didn't have any answer to that. The bottom line is for this world, for our country, but certainly for Israel, the Middle East, and Europe, much closer, you cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. And if you agree that Iran can't have a nuclear weapon, which most people agree, almost everybody, it should have been done a long time ago. But if you agree they can't have a nuclear weapon, then what I did has been executed perfectly because our military has decimated them. Yeah.
How many people kept saying for years, Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon, right? His message is simple. Allies who won't back the mission shouldn't expect endless American cover. Next, the defense secretary drives it home, saying this administration answers to the American people because nobody owns them. In a fiery exchange with Pocahontas Warren.
What I give, what you give, what others give, I'm not looking for money. I don't do it for money. I don't do it for profit. I don't do it for stocks. And that's part of the reason why I'm able to be effective in this job, because no one owns me. No one owns this department. No one owns this president. And we can execute for the American people, and we do.
I don't do it for stocks. I hope Nancy Pelosi was watching. So this is the aha moment. See, the Trump administration is not just reacting to events, it's resetting the terms of global power. Iran is being cornered by maximum pressure while Trump keeps the diplomatic channel. On U.S. terms, Europe's learning that access to American protection comes with obligations, not entitlement. And then came the line that explains everything from defense leadership. No one owns this president. That's the Secretary of War. And that is the core truth the establishment can't stand. No donor cartel, no globalist handlers, no permanent bureaucracy calling the shots, just an America First commander-in-chief using strength, secrecy, and leverage to force adversaries to bend and allies to wake up. That's why the usual crowd is panicking. So here's the bottom line. President Trump is proving again that peace through strength is not a slogan. It's a governing doctrine. Iran is under real pressure, not performative pressure. The talks are happening quietly, not through media leaks. And our so-called allies are learning that if they want the shield of the United States, they better start acting like allies. See, that's a win for taxpayers, a win for our military, and a win for every American who wants a president that can't be bought. If you agree that Trump's America First strategy is bringing real accountability back to world affairs, share this report right now. Drop a comment below and answer this simple question. Should President Trump pull troops from countries that refuse to help the United States? Subscribe if you haven't, but most importantly, text that number you see on the screen right there. Text raw feed to 844-840-4963. That's how you get on our secret list to bypass the algorithm's continued suppression of our work here in our reporting. And get a direct message from me to your phone when it matters most. And check out the Next News merch shelf below this video, because America's back and the world knows it.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.